Yo, what up YouTube? Hello. For today's video, we're going to be talking about emotional maturity. What is emotional maturity? Well, in the aspects of how I see the definition, emotional maturity is how one handles their own emotions. For example, let's say you come back from work. It's been a long, stressful day. You know, your boss has swamped you with work for the past week and you just finished. You're like, thank God, I just want to get home and go to sleep. But you're unable to go to sleep just yet. You have to go make food for yourself. You could just go get it, fast food. But let's say you have kids, it's not really ideal in that situation to go get fast food at that point because it's more expensive than cooking a home meal. So you go back home, start cooking up a home meal, but you're really tired, You're having a hard time, like, staying awake, For emotional maturity, how does that play a role in a situation like that? Your kids are like acting all crazy. It's nighttime. They're using all their energy before going to bed. You're just cooking, and they're like they're bugging you. They miss you. They're being really nice. Still, like, they're not being nice, but like they're trying to express their child emotions of wanting to hang out with you the way they see it from their world perspective at that time. But it's getting to you. You're like, dang, I'm just trying to get this meal finished, serve the kids, and go to sleep. There's a couple ways you can react to this. From a positive emotional aspect, you put a smile up and then try to act along with your kids, trying to be happy, enjoy the moment, But for some people, it's okay if this happens, but like some people, they let their emotions get to them and they crash out. Crash outs, for like the definition of crash out, it's like losing control of your emotions, letting you like seeing red, like having your rage take over your actions. That's what crash out means. And you just crash out and just start like, you get really mad and start like screaming at the kids, telling them to go sit down and wait. It's okay sometimes. It always happens. It happens. But emotional maturity can play a big role in situations like that. What are other situations emotional maturity can play a role in how you handle things? Next, take an example in America. Every day when you're driving to work, there's usually a traffic jam. If you don't, in America, have a traffic jam before getting to work, congratulations, wow. Like, that's a great place to live, because in most of the states I've been to, it's been to like 7 so far, there has been traffic jams every day going to work. And it's like, how do you handle the situation? Do you just sit patiently in your car, just wait, because it's going to be over? It's always going to be over. You might be a little late to work, which is not ideal. So let's say you head out an hour early and work's like 30 minutes away. Okay. Driving to work, bam. Car accident happens, like maybe like 10 cars ahead of you, and there's a fat traffic jam now. And you're just waiting. You're like, dang, okay. I left an hour early. Now I don't know if I'm going to make it to work on time. How would one handle the situation? In a positive way, they'll just wait, take their time, it's going to pass. But a lot of the times in America, people will start getting frustrated. This is when you hear a lot of beeping from the cars. It's like a beep, 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 beep. A lot of back and forth. Some people even roll down their windows and start screaming at others. They're like looking out the car, like, yo, what's happening? Like, why is the car in front of me stopped, And then also there's people like lane cutters, which in a highway, there's usually like 6 lanes. And there's people that swerve through the lanes. Usually there's like rows of cars, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And there's rows. And some people, they're trying to rush to work, so they're going swerving through cars. They're making it a little bit more unsafe on the road for other people, which is okay. I guess in aspects, okay. It doesn't play from now we're in the car and we see this happening. How do you handle your emotions there? In a positive aspect, it's just like, fine, whatever, just let it go. It might hurt, it care, because like, whoa, I almost got in a car accident or hit this car, and like I'm gonna have to pay this fine because this guy's driving all crazy. Yes, it happens. He might even hit your car, and in that situation, I believe it is okay to get mad. But how mad one gets is a definition. How mad one gets plays a role of how their emotional maturity, how good they grasp their emotions in that situation. Let's say, bam, they're swerving through, you accidentally bump their lights, because it just happens, it just happens, and the car stops, you get out, the guy's screaming at you, you're screaming at him like, hey, why'd you like bump my car, like, or why did you like brake check me or something like that? And you're like, what? Obviously you're the one driving terribly. In this situation, at this moment, I don't know how I would in that situation theoretically, but like, I would want myself to try to de-escalate the situation, or try to calm him down in the situation, even if like he does not want to be calmed down, which I'm gonna try to switch the situation into a role where we're not gonna get into a fight, or make a situation worse than it already is. That's the level of emotional maturity that one, I believe, should attain. The way to just be like, okay, it happened, sorry. Then they like, you should be apologetic. What situations where emotional maturity maybe could backfire on you? I would take example for saying sorry for something you didn't do. Well, this is a very specific example. There's other examples probably, if you can think of others, but let's say, for example, you're pulled over and the cop's like, yo, do you know what you're doing on the road today? In your head, you're thinking like, what? I don't know what I did. What did I do? And out of the bottom of your heart, because you're trying to de-escalate the situation there, you're like, oh, sorry, I was speeding, it's my fault. Bam. Now the cop has a reason to pull you over. You just said that you committed this crime, you were speeding. That's a level of emotional maturity. That's a situation where maybe you should not use emotional maturity, a high level of emotional maturity in that aspect. Maybe that's a different definition or some other term. That's one way I have viewed emotional maturity from that. Alright, this is going to be the last example of how emotional maturity is a good thing and how one can handle situations. Alright, emotional maturity. Let's take an example of cutting in line. That's like a classical, everybody experienced that once in life, if they went to school at least. So you're going to school, you're hungry for lunch, bam, you're waiting. It's like a 5-minute wait. You're like, okay, it's not bad. And these kids, you see them hop the gates, or see them hop the barricade. You're right behind, waiting to get in, hop the barrier and cut the line. Now, there's 2 options you could do here. Maybe even more, but you could be like, hey, come on, why are you hopping the barrier? Go back in line, wait. And yes, that is a valid reason. That's a valid reason to raise your voice. You know, they did something that they shouldn't have done. And also, like, you should respect the like rules already in place of the school, and like of all the other students. They're all following these norms that you should not cut the line. So it's a valid reason. No, the second option, you can just ignore it, which, yeah, that is a level of emotional maturity that is high, you know. And in the end, you will get in line. I mean, in the end, you will get your food. It just might take a little longer now since people cut the line. But also, on the other hand, you're allowing a couple of people to break the rules already in place, set by society. So, it depends, maybe. It depends. From an aspect of emotional maturity, like how you handle the situation. Maybe the best option in this particular scenario would be confronting them, or maybe not even confronting them, because a situation might arise since you confronted them. Maybe just asking like a security guard or one of the staff right there that they cut the line. It helps de-escalate the situation where you get involved and put somebody in a higher power to get involved. Because, take examples, 2 students are like on this level and the staff member is on this level. Like, fights usually start here on this level because people believe they're like equal on this level. But when somebody has slightly higher power, that's when they start to submit and accept the rules. Because rule breakers are rule breakers between rule breakers. But people who make the rules versus people who are rule breakers, the rule breakers right here, most of the time won't attack the people who made the rules, because if there's a direct confrontation, they're usually just going to submit, because that's a level of emotional maturity that they know. They might break the rules behind the rule makers' backs, but when it's a direct confrontation, they know it's not the right move themselves to like talk back, because they know they can get into a situation that's even worse for them right now, since they already broke the rules. Right, that's the end of me talking about how I view emotional maturity in society. I talked about some examples. That's it. Peace.